Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ummāgnānatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmīlitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Yam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Haribol. So welcome to the reading session. Today we continue with the introduction of Bhagavad Gita.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu. From here.
Okay. Hare Krishna. The existence of the Supreme Brahma is once transferred to the Brahma Jyoti of the Supreme Lord and thus attain the spiritual sky. The devotee who wants to enjoy the association of the Lord enters into the Vaikuntha planet, which are innumerable, and the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansion as a Narayan with 4 hands and with different names like Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Govinda, etc., associate with him there. Therefore, at the end of life, transcendentalists either think of the think of the Brahmajyoti, the Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. In all cases, they enter into the spiritual sky, but only the devotee or he who is in personal touch with the Supreme Lord enter into the Vaikuntha planet. The Lord further added of this there is no doubt. This must be believed firmly. We should not reject that which does not tally with our imagination. Our attitude should be that, Arjuna, I believe everything that you have said. Therefore, when the Lord say that at the time of death, whoever think of him as or Brahma or Paramatma or as the personality of Godhead, certainly enter into the spiritual sky. There is no doubt about it. There is no question of disbelieving it. The information on how to think of the Supreme Being at the time of death is also given in the Gita. Yam yam vapi smran bhava tyajate yante kalevaram tam tamavetti kauntaya sada tad bhavita. In whatever condition are quite his present body, in his next life he will attain to the state of being without fail. Bhagavad Gita 8.6. Material nature is a display of one of the energy of the Supreme Lord. In the Vishnu Purana, the total energy of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu Sakitha, Paraprakta, etc. are delineated. The Supreme Lord has diverse and innumerable energy which are beyond our conception. However, great learned sages or liberated souls have studied their energies, and we have analyzed them into 3 parts. All of the energies are Vishnu Shakti. That is the that is to say they are different potency of Lord Vishnu. The energy is para transcendental living entity also belong to the superior energy as has already been explained. The other energy or material energy are in the mode of ignorance. Or at the time of that, we can either remain in the if inferior energy of this material world, or we can transfer to the energy of spiritual world. In life, we are accustomed to the thing either of the material or the spiritual energy. There are so many literatures which fill our thoughts with the material energy. Newspapers, novel, etc. are thinking which is now observed in the literature must be transferred to the Vedic literatures. The great sages therefore have written so many Vedic literatures, as the Puranas, etc. The Puranas are not imaginative; they are historical records. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a following verse: "Maya Mugdha Jivara Nahi Swata Krishna Janana Jivera Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Purana." Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya. The forgetful living entities or conditioned soul have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord, and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities. Just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky, Krishna has given a great number of Vedic literatures. First, he divided the Vedas into four, then he explained them in the Puranas, and for less capable people, he wrote the Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, there is a given the Bhagavad Gita. Then all the Vedic literature is summarized in the Vedanta Sutra. For the future guidance, he gave a natural commentation on the Vedanta Sutra called Srimad Bhagavatam. We must always engage our mind in reading these Vedic literatures, just as materialists engage in their mind in reading newspaper, magazine, and so many materialistic literatures. We must transfer our reading to these literatures which are given to us by Vyasadeva. In that way, it will be possible for us to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. That is the only way suggested by the Lord. He guaranteed the result. There is no doubt. Bhagavad Gita 8.7. Tasmat sarveshu kavaleshu mama anusamara yuddhacha mai arpita mano bhuttir mama evasya asamshaya. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me, and at the time at the same time, you should continue your prescribed duty and fight with your mind and activities always fixed on me, and everything engaged in me. You will attain me without any doubt. He does not advise Arjuna to simply remember him and give up his occupation. No, the Lord never suggests anything impractical. In this material world, in order to maintain the body, one has to work. Human society is divided according to work into four division of social order: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The Brahman class or intelligent class is working in the way of the Kshatriya or administrative class is working in the another way, and the mercantile class and the labor are all the tending to their specific duty in the human society where one is a labor, merchant, warrior, administrator, a farmer, or even if he belong to the highest class and is a literally man, a scientist or the theologian, he has to highest class work in order to maintain his existence. The Lord therefore tell Arjun that he need not give up his occupation, but while he engaged in his occupation, he should remember Krishna. if if he doesn't practice remembering Krishna while he is struggling for existence, then it will not be possible to him to remember Krishna at the time of death. Lord Chaitanya also advised this. He say that one should practice remembering the Lord by chanting the names of the Lord always. The names of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. So Lord Krishna's instruction to Arjuna to remember me and Lord Chaitanya's instructions to always chant the name of Lord Krishna are the same instruction. There is no difference because Krishna and Krishna's name are non-different. In the absolute status, there is no difference between reference and different. Therefore, we have to practice remembering the Lord always, 24 hours a day, by chanting His name and molding our life activities in such a way that we can remember the always. How is that possible? The Acharya give the following example: if a married woman is attached to the another man, or if a man has a attachment for a woman other than his wife, then the attachment is to be considered very strong. One with such an attachment is always thinking of the love one. The wife who is thinking of her lover is always thinking of meeting him, even while she crying out her household chores. In fact, she carries out her household work even more carefully so her husband will not suspect her attachment. Similarly, we should always remember the supreme lover, Sri Krishna, and at the same time, perform our material duties very nicely. A strong sense of love is required here. If we have a strong sense of love for the Supreme Lord, then we can discharge our discharge our duty and at the same time remembering him. But we have to develop the sense of love. Arjun, for instance, we always thinking of Krishna. He was the constant compassion of Krishna. At the same time, we have as a warrior. Krishna did not compassion of Krishna. At the same time, he was a warrior. Krishna did not advise him to give up fighting and go to the forest to meditate. When Lord Krishna delineates the yoga system to Arjuna, Arjun said that the practice of these systems is not possible for him. Arjuna Vacha, यो यम योगास्त्वया प्रक्ता समयेन मधुसूदन एतस्य न प्रश्यानि चंक्लवत् चंक्लत्वेत स्थितम स्थिरम. Arjun said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appear impractical and inadorable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Bhagavad Gita 6.33. But the Lord say, Yogina api sarvesham mad gate mantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mama same yaktatma mataha. Of all yogis, he who always abide in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga, and he is the highest of all. Bhagavad Gita 6.47. So one who think of the Supreme Lord always is the greatest yogi, the supermost jnani, and he is the greatest devotee at the same time. The Lord further tells Arjun that as a Kshatriya, he cannot give up his fighting. But if Arjun fight remembering Krishna, then he will be able to remember him at the time of death. But one must be completely surrendered in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. We work not with our body actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in the thought of the Supreme Lord, then naturally the sense are also engaged in his service. Superficially, at least, the activities of the sense remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. The Bhagavad Gita teaches one how to observe the mind intelligence in the thoughts of the Lord, such as absorb the mind in intelligence in the thought of the Lord. Such a absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of the Lord. If the mind is engaged in the Krishna's service, then the senses are automatically engaged in his service. This is the art, and this is also secret of Bhagavad Gita. Total absorption in the thought of Sri Krishna. Modern man has struggled very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. If one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This practice is the devotional process of Sarvanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vedanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. These nine process of which the easiest in Shravana hearing. Bhagavad Gita from the enlightened person we turn one to the thought of the Supreme Being. The this will lead to Nischala, remembering the Supreme Lord, and will enable one upon leaving the body to attain a spiritual body which is just fit for association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord further say, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nayana Kamina Purnamam Purusham Divyanam Yati Pathanuchintayam. By practicing the remembering without being deviated, thinking ever the thinking ever of the Supreme Godhead, one is sure that to achieve planet of the divine and supreme personality of O son of Kunti. Bhagavad Gita 8.8. This is not a very different process. However, this is not a very difficult process. However, one must learn it from an experienced person, from one who is already in the practice. The mind is always flying to the this and that, but one must always practice concentrating the mind on the form of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, or on the sound of his name. The mind is naturally restless, going high, hitla and thitra, but it can rest the sound vibration of Krishna. One must thus meditate on pranam purusham Param Purusham, the Supreme Person, that those attain him. The way and the mean of ultimate realization, ultimate attainment are stated in the Bhagavad Gita, and the doors of this knowledge and open for everyone. No one is buried. out. All classes of men can approach the Lord by thinking of Him for hearing, and thinking of Him is possible for everyone. The Lord further say, Mam hi partha vyapastriya yapi so papapyonah स्त्रियावस्य तथा शुद्रं तापयन्ति परम गतिम किम पुनर्ब्रह्मण्यः पुण्यं भक्त राजरस्य तथा अनित्यं सुखम लोकम इमाम प्रपया भुजस्व मम. O son of Partha, anyone who will take the shelter in me, whether or a woman or a merchant or one born in low family, can yet approach the supreme destination. How much greater greater than are the Brahmanas and righteous the devotees and saintly king in this miserable world. These are the fixed in devotional service to the Lord. Bhagavad Gita. Human being, even the lower status of life, a merchant, a woman, or laborer, can attain the supreme Lord. Does not need highly developed intelligence. The point is that anyone who accepts the principle of bhakti yoga and accept the supreme Lord as the summum bonum of life, as the highest target and ultimate goal, can approach the Lord in the spiritual sky. If one adopts the principle enunciated the Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make a perfect solution to the all problems of the which arise of the transient nature of material existence. This is the sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. In conclusion, Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. It is capable of saving one from all fear. नेहाभिका नेहाभिकर्मानसोऽस्ति स्ति प्रत्यवया न विद्यते स्वल्पमेऽप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायतो महतो भयात्. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and little advancement of this path can protect from the most dangerous type of fear. If one read Bhagavad Gita sincerely and seriously, then all of the reaction of his past misdeeds will not react upon him. In the last portion of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna proclaims Sarva Dharmana Pratyajya Mamekam Shanam Braja Am Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshashyami Ma Shucha. Give up all the varieties of the religiousness and just surrender into me and return. I shall protect you from all sinful reaction. Therefore you have nothing to fear. Thus the Lord takes all responsibility from one who surrender unto him. He indemnify all the reaction of sin. One cleans himself daily by taking a bath of water, but one who takes his bath only once in a sacred Ganga's water of the Bhagavad Gita cleans all away all the dirt of material life. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, mankind is so absorbed with mundane activity that is not possible to read all of the Vedic literature. But this is not necessary. This one book Bhagavad Gita will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literature, and because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is said that one who drink the water of the Ganges certainly gets salvation. But what to speak of one who drink the water of Bhagavad Gita? Is the very nectar of Mahabharata spoken by Vishnu himself. Lord Krishna is the original Vishnu. It is the nectar emanating from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Ganges is said to be emanating from the lotus feet of Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of Supreme Lord, but in our position, we can appreciate the Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the Gange is. The Bhagavad Gita is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is a cowherd, boy is a milking this cow. The milk is the essence of the Vedas, and Arjun is just like a calf. The wise man, the great sages, and pure devotee are the drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. In this present day, man is very eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. So let there be one common scriptures for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita, and let there be one God only for the whole world, Shri Krishna, and one mantra only, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another devotee read Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I would like to read.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Disciplic succession. एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम इमं रजसय विदुः Bhagavad Gita 4.2. The Bhagavad Gita as it is received through the disciplic succession. First Krishna, second Brahma, then Narada, Vyasa, Madhava, Padmanabha, Nirhari, Madhava, Akshobhaya, Jayatirtha, Jayasindhu, Vidyanidhi, Rajendra, Jayadharma, Tirtha, Vyasatirtha, Lakshmipati, Vaidya, Advaita, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa, Rupa Goswami, Swarupa, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Narottama Das Thakur, Vishwanath Das Chakravat, Vishwanath Das, Baladev, Jagannath, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, and His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Chapter 1. Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Text 1.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I read something?
Yes.
Wrong with
Text
it.
1. Dhritarashtravacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samveta Yusava Mama Kaha Pandavas
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Your internet is cutting.
Akuru Vata Sanjaya.
It's really delayed.
What's the do? It's because
Prabhu, try
it's,
to reconnect. Try to reconnect and
let another devotee read this. Let another devotee read this, Prabhu.
Yes,
okay,
Prabhu,
Prabhu,
thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhu. Chapter
second,
1,
Prabhu, yes.
Srila Prabhupada, Chapter 1, Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yudhavaha Mamaka Pandava Chaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya.
Prabhu.
Dhritarashtra, King Dhritarashtra Uvacha said, Dharma Kshetra in the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetra in the place of name, Kurukshetra, Samaveta assembled, Yusava desiring to fight, Mamakha, my party sons, Pandava, the sons of Pandu, Cha and Eva, certainly Kim, what Kurvata did they do, Sanjaya, O Sanjaya? And translation from Srila Prabhupada, and Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after assembling in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do, being decisions to fight, purport. Bhagavad Gita is a widely read ethic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya glorification of Gita. There is said that one should read Bhagavad Gita very circuitously with the help of a person who is a devotee of Krishna, and they try to understand it without personally motivated interpretation. The example of clear understanding is the in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciple succession without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdoms and all scriptures of the world. One will find in the Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of the Gita. It is perfect theistic science uh, because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya as described it in the Mahabharata from the basic principles for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy involved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a scared place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of the Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. The word Dharmakshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, "What did my sons and the sons of Pandu do?" He was confident that both his son and sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want to compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fact of his sons on the battlefield because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Veda as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven. Dhritarashtra become very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably because by nature they were all victorious. Sanjaya was a student of Vyasa, and therefore by the mercy of Vyasa, Sanjaya was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belongs to the same family, but Dhritarashtra mind his disclosed hearing. He deliberately climbed only his sons as gurus, and he separated the sons of Pandus from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his Nippuans, Nippuans, the sons of Pandu, as in the paddy field, the unnecessarily plans are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of this topic, the topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plans like Dhritarashtra's son Duryodhana and others would be put out, and through the religious persons headed by Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra apart from their historical and Vedic importance. Text 2 Sanjaya Uvacha Drustva tu Pandavanikam Vyudam Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjaya Uvacha said, Dristva, after seeing two but Pandava Anikam, the soldiers of the Pandavas, viewed him arranged in military phalanx. Duryodhana, King Duryodhana, at the time, Acharyam, the teacher, Upasangamya, approaching nearby Raja, the king who Vachanam words Abravit spoke. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army gathered by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and began to speak the following words. Purport. Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also brave of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in matter of religion, and he was sure that they would never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious saints birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjaya could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. He wanted, therefore, to encourage the disappointed king and those he warned him that his son were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of all this place. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief Dronacharya to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as the king, he still had to go the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. He was therefore fit to be a politician, but Duryodhana, the diplomatic finner, could not distinguish the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. Text 3.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, who
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
who wants to read the next verse? Jai Shri Prabhu.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Let's maybe change like one verse after.
Yes. Text 3. Pashyantam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Pashya, behold, etam, this, Panduputranam, of the sons of Pandu, Acharya, or teacher, Mahatam, great, Chamum, military force, Vyudham, arranged, Drupada Putrena, by the son of Drupada, Tava, your, Shishyana, disciple, Bhimata, very intelligent. Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Translation by A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada. O my teacher, behold the great army of the son of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana, commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a liable Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impact all these military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadumna to the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx. After having learned the art from Dronacharya, Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. But this he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate student. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana was warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, who wants to read next verse? Okay, Haribol, I can also read one. Text 4. Atra Sura Mahesvasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharataha. Atra, here, Shuraha, heroes, Maheshvasaha, Mighty Bowman, Bhima and Arjuna, Samaha, equal, Yudhi, in the fight, Yuyudana, Virata, Cha, also, Drupada, Cha, also, Maharata, great fighter. Translation. Here in this army, there are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. There are also great fighters like Yuyudana, Virata, and Drupada. Purport. Even though Drishtadyumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military arts, there were many others who were their cause of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew that the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, and thus he compared the others with them. Okay, one more. Drishtaketushchekitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bojascha Saibhyascha Narapungava Drishtaketu Chekitana Kasiraja Cha also Viryavan very powerful Purujit Kunti Boja Cha and Saibya Cha and Narapungavaha heroes in human society. Translation. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kuntiboja, and Shaibya. Okay, one more. Text 6. Yudamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamaujascha Viryavan Saupadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharata Yudamanyu, Cha and Vikrantaha, mighty, Uttamauja, Cha and Viryavan, very powerful, Shubhadra, the son of Shubhadra, Draupadeyaha, the son of Draupadi, Cha and Sarve all, ever certainly, Maharata, great chariot fighters. Translation. There are the mighty Yudamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. No, there's no purpose. Okay, one more. Asmakam tu vishistaye tanni bodha dvijottama nayaka mauma sainyasya samjartham tan bravimite. Asmakam or two, but Vishishtaha, especially powerful, those, them, Niboda, just take note, be informed, Dvijottama, the best of the Brahmanas, Nayakaha, captains, Mama, my Sainyasya, of the soldiers, Samgnartam, for information, Tan, them, Bravimi, I am speaking, te, your, translation. O best of the Brahmanas, for your information, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. Hare Krishna. Okay, who wants the next one?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjaya Asvatthama Vikarnascha Saumadattistattvacha. Bhavan, yourself, Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, Cha also Karna, Cha and Krupa, Cha and Samitinjaya, always victories in battle. Ashwattama, Vikarna, Cha as well as Samudatti, the son of Somadatta, Tatha, and has Eva, certainly Cha, and translation from Srila Bhagavad. There are personalities like yourself, Bhishma, Karna, Krupa, Ashwattama, Vikarna, and the sons of Somadatta called Bhuriswara, who are always victorious in battle. Purport. Duryodhana mentioned the expectation heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana. Ashwattama is the son of Dronacharya, and Somadatti or Bhurishwara. He is the son of the king of the Balikas. Karna is the brother of Arjuna, as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Krupacharya married with the twin sister of Dronacharya. Next one, can I continue? Or next?
Yes, Prabhu, you can read one more.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Anecha Bhavan Sura Madarte Yakta Jivataha Nana Shastra Pararana Sarve Yuddha Visaradaha, and many others also Bhava great numbers. Asura, heroes, Madarte, for my sake, Tyakta Jivita, prepared to risk life. Nana, many Shastra weapons, Pararana, occupied with survey, all of them. Yuddha, battle, Visarada, experienced in military science. Translation from Srila Prabhupada, there are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Purport as far as the others are concerned, like Jayadrata, Kritvarakama, Salya, etc. All are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them could die in the battlefield of Kurukshetra for joining the party of sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of above mentioned combined strength of his friends. Next can continue, Prabhu. Next, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Now let's read six Astakam prayers. Tomorrow we continue from that.
Okay, Prabhu.
Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam Shreyah kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam putivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम आकार बहुतो निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममामे दुर्दैव ईदृशं हैजनी ननुग्रहः
निचेन तरुभिसहिष्णुना अमानेन मानिदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरिः।
नतनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि।
अये नन्दन तनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विसनं समे भव बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजातित धूले सधस्रं विचिन्तया
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गदगदरुद्धया गिरा पुलके निचं तं वपुकदा तमनां गृहिणी भविष्यति।
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्ष्याहितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे।
अश्लिष्य वा पादरतं विनस्तु मम अदर्शनान् मर्माहतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विधातु लम्पतो मत्प्राणानथस्तु से एव न परः।
Haribol, translation. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living being, and those you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna, Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all of your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable to us to easily approach you by your holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no traction for them.
One
one
should
should
chant.
chant
Do you want to continue, bro?
continue Prabhu, continue.
Okay, I'm doing this. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking once in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Hare Krishna. O Almighty Lord, I have no desires to accumulate wealth, nor do I deserve beautiful men, do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotion of service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of birth and death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more, tears all flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even he handles me roughly by his emprise or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
हरि बोल। श्री
Krishna,
शिव
Hare
शतकम
Bol.
की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय,
Jai,
धर्म की जय,
Jai,
नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, श्री
Jai,
चैतन्य
Jai,
महाप्रभु की जय, जगत गुरु शिला
Jai,
भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर
Jai,
प्रेमानंदे,
Jai.
हरि हरि
Hare
बोल।
Hare 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 Bol.